Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the Guapish podcast. As always, I'm your host, Nico. Today, I'm joined by special guest Tanner Nikolai.
You're a piece of shit, you know that? Tell them what episode this is, dumbass.
This is episode 4 of the Guapish podcast. My name is
This is episode 6.
I thought it was episode 5.
It's actually episode 5.
Yeah, it's episode 5. We're all... Great start.
After a great start as usual. Aside from Tanner, we're also joined by special guest Jackson.
Yeah, what's up? Hi.
And as usual, Dylan as well.
Hey, I'm here. What up?
We did it.
We did it.
Now, guys, I have a little confession to make here.
What's your confession? You better not say what I think you're about to say.
He's joined the dark side.
I cried while watching Demon Slayer.
Yes, I kind of figured.
You
I just didn't
cried?
want to say anything.
Well, okay, hold on a sec. Let me take over here. That's right, guys. This is a special episode. This is basically a Demon Slayer movie review. Demon Slayer Mugen Train.
That's
Demon
right.
Slayer,
I don't know what
Mugen
Mugen
means
means.
demon.
Was
Sure means
Mugen
demon.
just the? Is it? Yeah, really?
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it meant demon, but then I looked it up.
I remember the front of the train said Mugen on it, though.
Yeah,
That'd be weird.
Hold on, I'll pull this up.
Whatever. I don't care. It's called Mugen Train.
Oh, okay, it means infinite.
Oh, so it was infinite.
Oh.
I'm gonna be honest.
Okay,
it was only
so-
like
Yeah, there you go.
8
It
cars.
wasn't. It was very definite,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
Interesting.
there you go.
yeah, this is our Demon Slayer review. Let's just do top level, no spoilers. What did we each think of the film?
No! Never mind. We'll get into spoilers later. I thought that the film was very, very good. I greatly enjoyed it. Probably one of the best films I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Damn.
How many films have you seen?
At least 3.
Gotcha.
That's truly
Insane.
an opinion.
How would you say it compares to other anime films you've seen?
I mean, the only real exposure I have for anime films would be like the Dragon Ball films, which are typically not phenomenal with a few exceptions. So this is like S tier.
Gotcha. Alright, Jackson, how about you? Top level, what'd you think?
Just to be really simplistic about it, I'd probably say I'd give it like a high 8 to like a low 9. I thought it was really good too.
Oh, wow.
I thought the audio design of the movie was really fucking good. I thought the animation honestly was super clean because it's ufotable, which is just like
He was
you
crisp.
expect pretty much. Storyline was really good. I think they adapted it really well from the manga, so I can't complain at all. I thought it was really enjoyable.
So you've read the manga, okay.
I have read the manga. Yeah.
How many of us have read the manga?
I have not. I'm assuming Jackson is the only one who has.
I normally mostly just read manga. I don't really watch anime.
Interesting. Alright, Dylan, how about you? Top level, no spoilers, what'd you think?
Just this is the first. Well, it's not the first time I've heard of the anime, but from what I experienced, it's definitely something I'm probably gonna go watch from season 1. I do definitely agree with Jackson. It was the animation obviously was really good. The audio and the sound effects and everything were really good. The music was good, and it told a really good story. And I mean, I still need to know more about the story, but from what they showed me in the movie, I didn't need to know much. It was just a great movie overall.
Right. Yeah, I'll definitely be
Dylan has
interested to ask you some of that. I think we got some interesting perspectives here. We got me and Nico who have seen the anime. We got Dylan who has not seen the anime. We got Jackson who's read the manga.
A manga.
Anyway, for my no spoiler review,
Yeah,
I
what do you think of it?
I think it was good, but not great.
Damn.
Oof.
I think
Scathing review from Tanner Nikolai.
I'm definitely a bit more lukewarm than you guys. So yeah, basics of this movie. It's acting as the season finale. It is a canon anime movie that is like the ending for season 1,
Right.
which I found very interesting. Because I haven't seen that before. Nico, do you know of any other anime that have a movie as the canon ending to a season?
No, that is a very rare thing that movies really are able to impact the plot whatsoever. They're typically just kind of one-off little things, so
Right.
you know you're gonna have like a great time watching it, but there isn't gonna be anything that'll actually serve as an impact for the series as a whole. And
If you guys know Konosuba, literally the
yes.
the movie after season 2 is pretty much the same thing. I don't think it qualifies as like the canon ending of season 2, but it is a direct sequel to it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The only other like anime movies I've seen were the My Hero ones, which aren't canon.
No. Definitely not.
Well, because like I forget which season, but they do like a weird thing at the end of one of the episodes where they're like, we're back from our vacation. Like they reference the movie, but then it's still not canon.
I think the first one might sort of be canon. The second one definitely isn't, though.
It doesn't matter if the first one's canon because anything they do in that movie is undone by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, Let's move into spoilers then. Let's
get right into the meat and potatoes here, boys.
Let's talk our main characters. We got.
Yeah, I put a little cheat sheet in the chat for Dylan.
We got green jacket. Fucko is Tanjiro. He's our protagonist.
Yeah, an overall pretty swell guy. Gotta say,
cool.
He did a lot of really cool ass stuff in this movie, by the way.
I like him a lot more than most anime protagonists because he's only a whiny bitch before he gets trained, and then after that he's semi-competent.
Dude turns into an absolute.
And he's a kind guy.
He's a kind guy who loves his sister, maybe a little too much, but who's to say?
I mean, enough to put her in a box. That's all I'm saying.
Now, Tanner, did you happen to have any like technical difficulties as you were watching this film?
No, so I watched it at the Santikos Palladium Theater here in San Antonio, Texas. It was a fantastic theater. It had leather reclining seats, so we're dealing with some real fancy schmancy bullshit here.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
It was loud as fuck,
Yep.
by the way.
Yes.
It was ridiculous in my theater.
That was something we could all agree on here.
Yes, we had a very similar experience. However, prior to watching the film, we had to undergo a bit of a trial of technical difficulties to actually get into the film.
I mean, even before
due to the fact that there was no picture at all initially, Tanner.
Interesting.
There's no picture as the numerous anime logos and stuff were appearing on screen. There were so many of them, and we didn't get to see them initially. But then eventually, after a little trial and error on the manager's part, he was able to get it working, and hey, we had a great time after that.
Hell yeah.
Did you all three see it together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha, okay.
We all experienced the film together.
Did you see subbed or dubbed?
We saw it subbed, actually, which, that was my very first experience watching anything subbed before.
Interesting. First time ever?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Outside of hentai. Which I believe was able to prepare me for this moment.
You didn't need to add that part.
No, we definitely did.
Noted.
I mean,
This is much needed context.
Now it's there.
It's
important to the trial, Dylan.
I watched it dubbed, actually.
Okay.
So,
and how'd you like that?
I liked it just fine,
Yeah?
The voice acting in English, it's not bad, but I'm not like, wow, this performance is crazy. Oh my god.
Bro, Nezuko was she's sounding really good right now.
I like how the villain in the English one has like the generic evil, like the generic like vampire voice, where it's like, oh, I'm going to eat you now. Oh, it's like yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, we're gonna make this person's evil because they sound just like a flaming homosexual, basically.
That's right. They're evil, but
voice.
Also really horny.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna put them to sleep and then eat them. And I'm like, you could go and watch the scene and you'd be like, wow, I can't believe Tanner did the voice acting for this movie. But yeah, that was pretty good. Alright, Tanjiro, main character. We got... Tell you what, okay, so whatever. We don't need to go through each character. We got Tanjiro, we got Inosuke, Boar Boy, we got Zenitsu, Electric Coward, the Electric Coward type Pokemon, and Nezuko, the lolly.
Oh, don't forget, there was Ren Goku in this film,
right,
Tanner. He was a big part of it.
I want to focus on the main four of the show right now and just say which for you guys of the main four, the party, as it were, would you say is your favorite character?
Tanjiro.
I really love Inosuke. He's real good.
I'm definitely into Nosuke as well.
I'm gonna say Zenitsu.
Really?
Yes.
You see, though, I really love Zenitsu as well, which it really made it a bummer that he barely did anything in this movie.
I can.
He had like
did
a couple of
one attack.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of his shtick.
And it was really cool, but it was a really
that
cool
was a
attack.
question. That was the question I asked Nico at the beginning. I'm like, so are all of these people demon slayers? Because like this like main guy seems like he's the only one. Because like this other guy's like a
He's the only one
coward.
doing anything.
Yeah, because like this guy's a coward.
Yeah,
Is he a demon slayer? He's like, yeah, he is. I'm like, okay.
Don't worry, you get schooled.
Yeah.
What I'm curious about with Zenitsu, from what I've absorbed, people love Zenitsu, and I'm confused because when I look at him, I'm like, this is literally just Great Boy from My Hero Academia, and people hate that character, so why don't they hate Zenitsu?
He's much better than the Great Boy.
How is he different? He's girl-obsessed, and he's a coward. Those are like his two primary personality traits, and they're the same primary personality traits as Great Boy.
I think it's literally just because he actually has like cool moments. He's not just a character that's insufferable just to be insufferable, which might be it. He actually has like growth.
I think most of it is just he's blonde, and girls get horny for
There we
that.
go.
He's also not nearly as pervy, by the
not even
way.
close.
Well, like Great Boy's incredibly lustful, you know.
His entire existence.
Zenitsu just wants that love.
I guess Zenitsu is more like girl crazy in like a middle school way, which I guess comes across as cute nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
He ain't a real raging horn dog like little Great Man.
Jesus Christ.
Nice.
I don't know if I like that phrase.
Nosuke's awesome. He's angry. You guys wouldn't know this
Which, by the way,
because of the movie, but he wears that boar mask because he has a very feminine face.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, I guess.
Yeah, he wants to be tough, but they look at him and they're like...
I really did love just how much screen time Inosuke got in this film. I wasn't expecting much out of him going into it, but boy, he got some great stuff going on here.
People in my theater were cracking up at all of his train nonsense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same here. It's very universal.
Right. And then Nezuko, she didn't do almost anything in the movie.
Yeah, she did, much like Zenitsu, she did not much. She did do a bit more than he did, fortunately.
He did more.
Dylan, did you even gather that she was a demon?
I did, because I heard like a little bit here and there about, like, I didn't know of the anime, but I knew she was a demon, and just small details here and there. But yeah.
Do you think if you hadn't heard that, you would have realized that?
I mean, maybe with the whole fire thing and like her just basically having claws and weird looking nail claw things, I think I could gather she probably was a demon. Just based on that, but also they keep her in a box, so that's a little.
They keep her in a box.
Yeah.
Because they can't touch the sun.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got Rengoku. Is that?
Yes, Rengoku.
He's the fire Hashira.
Yeah,
he's like
that's right.
It's one of the boss.
Actually, Tanner.
What?
Tanner.
Flame.
Shut
the fuck up.
exactly. they make sure to really specify that it is flame. It is not fire.
Yeah, for some reason that's an important distinction according to the anime. I think the master like literally looks at Tanjiro and says, "Don't ever call it fire breathing. It's flame breathing."
Yeah. They really want you to understand that. It's going to be important at some point. Just you wait.
I'm sure it will. But yeah, he's here. He's not queer. He's incredibly straight. I thought.
Yeah, he's also incredibly cool.
That wasn't my first impression of the guy. Definitely, I thought
that was your first impression. He was cool.
Yeah, as he was eating and yelling "delicious" repeatedly, he was like, "Dude, this guy fucks."
Dude, in the dub, he's saying "tasty" over and over again. And so he's off screen at first, and they come into the car, and then again the sound system is fucking loud, and so you just hear "tasty, tasty, tasty." And I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on?
Yeah, I was real confused at that scene.
Yeah. Not to jump ahead, but I really want to point this out. At the very end of the movie, when he dies, I just yell out, "Tasty!"
Tanner, how dare you?
No one laughed.
I could imagine.
Of course they did. It was a really emotional part of the movie. How did they laugh, Tanner?
It was fucking hilarious, though.
I'm surprised you didn't get escorted out.
People think the neighbors actually.
It was the end of the movie. Who cares?
Bad. Oh my god.
Fuck are my upstairs neighbors doing?
They're moving a
then,
couch, bro.
I guess we got our main villain. I don't know what their real name is, but it's upper.
It's like Osnu or some shit like that. The
I'll
train
just
demon
call
man.
him Lower One.
Just call him like Sleep Demon or some shit.
How long did it take you guys to realize it was a guy?
I mean, I knew.
I'm gonna be honest, they literally drew tits on him. That's just me, though.
I contemplated it for at least 5 minutes and then couldn't make my decision for like the next 10.
They had to say he and him quite a few times for me to be like, wait a second.
They literally drew him tits.
They're talking about the train guy.
It doesn't make any
train
sense.
Guy.
To be completely fair as well, I don't know how the voice was in English, but the
like I said, it was the stereotypical gay vampire voice.
But like the way that it was in the Japanese rendition, it didn't make it any easier to tell, especially when he was just talking and there was like when it switched to the scene with the children and they were saying he and him and he over and over again. I'm like, is this actually a dude? Like, are they talking about the demon right now? Because, like, there's a lot of things that suggest it's not true.
Maybe the hand is a boy and the demon's a girl.
I can see that.
Right. So, the first thing that happens is they're on the train, and then some demons pop up.
Inosuke's being rambunctious.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Zenitsu's like, I'm a city slicker. Get the fuck down. This is just a train. Chill out. Lights go out in the city, and then some demons show up.
Yeah.
And that's when Rengoku gets to just show off, and he's like, "Look how fucking rad I am."
Dude, honestly.
Yeah. And then everyone's just fawning over him. They want him to be their big bro, dude.
Yeah. They do call him Big Brother for some reason.
Yeah, that was real weird. I don't know if it's just me.
That's just an anime thing.
It's a sign of respect.
It's a sign of respect. They want to be adopted by him.
I also thought it was a hallucination or something, so I was banking on that.
Definitely not foreshadowing.
No, dude. No.
And then you got that weird zombie Ticketmaster guy, and you're looking at him, and you're like, well, something's not right here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing I didn't like about the movie. That's like one little gripe I have. They explain the part about like him using the tickets to make people fall asleep several times.
They do?
Yes.
Yes.
Really? I only remember one explanation.
No, they do it like 3 times, and it's very annoying.
Yeah, okay, so he puts his blood on the tickets, like his blood is in the ink on the tickets.
Yes, that's right.
And then when it gets punched, that puts the person who owns the ticket to sleep.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Does that make any sense?
It actually does. It's because they're using their
that part.
It's because they're using their blood.
That part was perfectly fine.
Demons use their blood specifically to use like magic. I guess is like the easiest way of describing it. And I guess their blood it's like remotely activated.
I guess the rationale is that the people were touching the ticket, and so it's like coded to them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not have any qualms with that part. What really confused me is how the hell does he fuse with a train? How did he do that?
How did he do that?
How did he
That's
do
a good...
that?
So he had somehow inserted himself inside the train.
Yes.
But
and
it's also not just like, his body is like sort of like cocooned in the train.
I mean, they sort of
make
it
out.
Also, is the train.
Yes, his whole body is just the train.
Well, so the train, it's like a Titan from Attack on Titan. So like his original form is inside the train, but the train is also a body.
Yeah. That sounds right.
I don't know.
But like, didn't they also say at one point near the beginning that like this train is where the demon like occurrences are happening, and it's been happening for a while, so they sent this group.
Well, yeah,
So
that's why they're there.
They were saying, yeah, people were disappearing.
Yeah.
So he's been part of the train for a while.
Oh, I was thinking maybe like he was on the train, period, and then given enough time, he fused with the train over, however long.
I think
they
he
say
just
it killed like 200 people or something like that.
I think he just figured out how to be the train.
No, the 200 people was in reference to the people currently on the train when we were watching it.
No, liar.
I think
You're lying.
I'm pretty sure they said something like 40 or 42 people or something like that.
Yeah, I remember
died.
40.
No.
40 was a number.
No.
Anyway, there's like 3 different like boss attempts, I guess, at stopping
Yes.
the demon slayers. The first one is he puts them to sleep with the tickets,
Right.
and then he has children who have like terminal illnesses tie themselves to each of them with magic ropes so that they can enter their dreams and then go stab their spirit orb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which during these dream sections is the first time in which I myself cried. Now, did any of you other boys cry at all during this film?
Not once.
No.
What?
You also have to realize.
What did you cry?
I got pretty close during
what did you cry at?
Rengoku's explanation, like his like final word scene, but other than that, not really.
Mm-hmm. What were you
Gotcha.
crying
Yeah.
at?
So for me, it was during Tanjiro's dream, in which he had to leave his family behind once again.
Right.
And his little brother falls in the snow, and it's
I
really
fucking
sad.
knew it. I knew.
I could you guys like hear him crying or
No,
something?
but I
I definitely wasn't making any sound now. It was just some tears streaming down my
just had
face.
a weird
couple,
feeling. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Gotcha.
I mean,
It was a couple tears.
usually for me, when it comes to emotional situations, I have to be at least somewhat tied to a character or a show. And considering this was my first time ever, like, I'm not saying it wasn't sad. Like, the movie had some feels in it for sure. It just
Right.
Oh yeah, you was exhaling rather loudly.
Absolutely.
it just didn't push me to the point where I was gonna cry or feel bad because I had no knowledge or connection to any of these characters up until this point.
Right.
So
That makes sense. And maybe for me, it was like I had literally binged the entire season in like 2 days the week before I saw this movie, so it wasn't
You,
like
you
a
didn't
slow
have enough
burn.
time to get accustomed to
Right,
them.
yeah. Or something. I don't know. Or maybe Nico's just a little bitch. Who knows?
I admitted prior to going to see this film to these men here that, hey, just a heads up, anime really gets to me, okay? it don't take much. As long as you have like a sad backing track and like sad things happening on screen, there's a decent chance he'll get me,
this is
okay?
true. He did confide this to us.
He did in fact do that.
I'm trying to. So. Yeah, Tanjiro was dreaming about having to leave his parents. Zenitsu was just hanging out with Nezuko in like an orchard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Inosuke was in a weird cave having like a little adventure with the others as animals.
Yeah.
Great time.
And Rengoku was what was
Being
his
sad
original-
about.
He was at his
Oh
parents'
yeah,
He was
his,
with, like,
his
his
dad's
father
like a piece of
and
shit
his
or
brother.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so the kids, it works like that one episode in season 1 of Rick and Morty where they're stuck in the hologram and they have to go to the edge of it. The
Simulation.
kids that
Yeah,
are
of
inside
course.
their dreams, they go to the edge, they like cut a hole in it, and then they find their spirit orb. That was such a cool moment when the girl found Rengoku's spirit orb and she goes to stab it, and then he stops her in real life.
Yeah.
Yes. That was awesome.
And she's like, because it doesn't make any sense, because that's like his survival instincts are so strong, he can sense when his soul is about to be stabbed.
Also, how the fuck did she not die? She
I
was
did-
like clenching
Right.
real
Yeah.
hard.
for like
There
5
were-
Her
minutes
neck
straight.
broken.
Yeah, there was several minutes where, like, whenever the camera, quote unquote, camera was in the train, he's just in the background killing this like
Yeah, I at least
fucking
expected a neck
8-year-old.
snap.
I don't.
Like, it's not strangulation. At least a neck snap. He looked like he was grabbing pretty hard.
Yeah. He was pretty mad about it. Then let's see, the one guy gets into Zenitsu's, I don't even remember what they call it, subconscious, that's right.
Yeah.
They get into Zenitsu's subconscious, and then some weird fucking Edward Scissorhands version of Zenitsu is like
Oh,
chasing
yeah.
him
It
around.
was amazing.
I interpreted that as like the Scissor Man from the Clock Tower games.
Okay.
If you're familiar with that at all, that's
don't know.
100% what I thought of.
They had clearly the people making the movie were like, well, how do we get Zenitsu and Inosuke to stop them from killing their spirit orb? What if there's just like weird monster versions of them in their subconscious? Okay. And there's like a weird version of Inosuke that can like climb on walls, and he's just literally an animal, and he's chasing the girl.
Yeah.
And then we find out in Tanjiro's stream, the little boy goes in, he's like,
Oh, there it is.
oh my gosh, it's beautiful in here. And there's little Among Us guys, and they're leading me around.
Yeah, these little light sprite boys.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty,
And they point him to the
yeah, that's
orb.
pretty cool.
Is it
The core, as it were.
Is it because I was looking for it?
For real.
Yeah, that happens. They get out. Tanjiro realizes that he has to kill himself in order to get out of the dream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing stuff.
And
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so the part where he ends up fighting the sleep demon or whatever, and the demon realizes that he's not able to resist his sleep or anything. He's just immediately killing himself every time he goes back. That was so badass. I loved it.
yeah, it was brutal though, because like I'm watching this and I'm looking around the theater. I'm like, there's like 9-year-olds here, and they're watching this kid slit his own throat
This
over
movie
and over again.
This movie is rated R. Why were they
That's what I
there?
was- Yeah.
Because it's animated and parents see it, they're like, oh, it's a cartoon.
It's literally
It
called
is for
Demon Slayer.
children, yes.
Parents need to step. Come
They don't
on.
care. These parents, they don't care. Their kids are watching the show and they're like, I want to go see the Demon Slayer movie. But yeah, Tanjiro like faces off against the kids, and my favorite line from the movie is when the boy that was in Tanjiro doesn't want to fight, and the one girl literally says in English, I don't give a shit that you have tuberculosis. Get the fuck up. She doesn't say fuck. I added that, but it's
Yeah.
I don't give a shit that you have tuberculosis.
Look, Tanner, we make fun of tuberculosis nowadays, but it was a real struggle back then.
Well,
It could fuck you up then, my guy.
It's just such I don't even know what to say to that. And then Tanjiro takes care of them all so easily, just laughably easily.
yeah, that was
Oh, yeah, of
questionably easy.
He's literally fighting
Yeah.
children.
I mean,
Yeah, he just knocks them all out.
yeah.
Then, do they show how Nezuko wakes them all up? Like the other
don't
three?
think so. No, they just kind of end up all starting to get up at
What
some
I
point.
remember, what I could gather was for Tanjiro, it's like he smelled his sister's blood, and considering it was also demon blood, it like helped as well. And
Yeah.
also like the flame thing that she does.
Yeah,
she
lit
like
him
burnt-
on
she
fire
burned
in
their
the dream.
ropes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for Inus, I don't know how Inusuke woke up. That one I couldn't figure out. Or wait, no, she lit him on fire a lot, and he just fucking jumped through the roof of the train.
You're right, he did.
Yeah.
He did jump straight through the roof.
And then for Zenitsu, they explained that he never fully broke the curse and woke up. It was just that she was in trouble, and his instinct to protect her for whatever reason drew him to her.
Well, he loves her.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he's got that big
that's what
love.
triggered him. I have no clue how Rengoku woke up. I'm assuming once the bond was severed between him and the girl, somehow he just woke up on his own because he's Rengoku.
Yeah.
So
So
I would like to circle back real quick to Dylan saying that Inosuke like jumped through the train. There are many moments where it just kind of feels like they forget that they're on a train which is constantly moving really quickly.
Mhm.
Because they do a lot of jumping during the fights while they're like on top of the train, and they just stay like right above where they're supposed to be. You know,
I
the
think a
whole
lot of the
time.
intentions of those
I don't know.
scenes, like not even like just to play devil's advocate, is that they're trying to show something that's happening really fast.
They're trying to be really cool.
I think
okay?
well, that's
Hold on a
supposed to be
second.
happening like super fast, but like for like animation's sake, it's actually like slowed down just like it's easier to comprehend. Maybe. So I don't think they're
hold
actually
on.
like in the
I
air for
think
like
based
10
on
seconds
my-
giving a monologue.
I think based on my limited knowledge of physics, you would stay in the same place, because you're also moving forward at the same speed as the train. Like, you would slow down a little bit by jumping in the air, but you'd still largely land in the same position relative to the train.
Yeah, because you have the same momentum.
If they're jumping like 10 feet into the air like they're doing in a Tanner?
Aerodynamics,
I think so.
Yeah.
Because the train isn't accelerating at that point. I don't know how much you lose your forward momentum by jumping in the air, but...
I mean, it would just be the wind shear at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Why'd you even bring that up?
Well, we're not qualified to talk about this. Dude, Nezuko was cute though, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
Bro, you got Bunny Nezuko in there at one point?
What?
Right. That was a thing.
Right.
She was a rabbit.
Yeah.
I was questioning that for a second, and then I remembered in Inosuke's stream.
I like how Zenitsu was a rat. It's a rat. You dirty rat. Okay, so that was like the first boss encounter.
Yes, Tanjiro fights the boy.
Yeah, Tanjiro fights upper one. Or lower one. It's such a confusing naming scheme that the main bad guy came up with for his henchmen.
Yeah, it's a sleep dream demon boy.
Yeah, he's sleep dream. This is a pretty quick fight, if I remember.
Yeah, for the most part. I think it's just because it got cut short when he got like fused into the train, or like revealed that he was the train. So for me, like that entirety from when he was on top of the train fighting the physical body of the demon, up to the point to where they stopped the train, I consider that all one big fight scene, even though there was no like technical, the demon wasn't fighting back, but I consider that all one big fight scene.
That makes sense to me. I was confused because when he got to the top of the train and he was fighting the demon, I'm like, man, this is going pretty fast for this movie.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna do dream nonsense for a while, but no. And then eventually, I was just in my head, I'm like, oh, I bet one of the big bosses is just gonna show up. I just kind of thought that's probably where this is headed because it was going too fast.
Yeah. I for sure knew that, like, okay, there's gonna be some more shenanigans about to happen here on this train. Like, things ain't gonna end this easily, you know? And then he Resident Evils the train.
Yeah, that was gross and creepy. The entire aesthetic of the flesh train, I was not a huge fan of.
Yeah, I will say, the 3D during that section did take me out of it a bit, because it was not phenomenal at all. Like, a lot of this movie looked excellent, but the 3D for the train was not very good.
They had to CG the train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, then it just kind of turns into them running around, slicing up tentacles inside the train.
Yeah, it slowed down just a little bit there in that section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
it was overall a pretty cool time, though.
Yeah, we hit the Inosuke and Tanjiro try and take down the fucking the train, and Inosuke says, "But where is the neck of a train?" That's how he sounds in English, by the way.
Oh god.
That's basically.
Yeah, no, that's not too far off from the Japanese rendition of the voice at all.
Yeah, I think that they did a pretty good job of matching the voices between the different versions.
Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to remember like the specifics of this fight. I know that the engine just kind of morphs into basically a skull with a bunch of eyes.
Yeah, basically.
It's like blinking at him to put him to sleep just over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the part where he was going to kill himself, except he wasn't asleep.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
That was really cool.
I thought the movie. I didn't know if this kid could or should die. I just figured he was going to, with my limited knowledge.
Yeah, the main character. Zenitsu becomes the main character after that. Let's go.
There we go. And then Inosuke's whole thing was like he's wearing the mask, and so the demon doesn't know where he's looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a really weird twist on the situation, but.
Because the boar looks on either side of his head, whereas Inosuke, he looks at the front, my guy.
Yeah. And then they kill the demon, and then the train fucking crashes, and no one dies in that crash.
Surprisingly somehow solves it all.
Yeah. It's a bad crash. And then the demon, the speed at which the demons dissolve after their head is cut off is entirely plot dependent. This one sticks around for like 3 minutes so it can monologue.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's funny because it's actually not though. It's literally just for the actual strength of them, like as a demon. Like the higher up they are, the longer they survive.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I defeated by a demon slayer? No. If only.
Yeah, like.
I would argue that it is plot driven as well, though, just for the fact that higher up demons most likely want to monologue after they died more because they were introduced more.
Yeah. They got stuff to say.
I'm sure once we get to like the Michael Jackson demon, he'll be around for like a long time during the sunlight.
Yeah, it's a whole episode of monologuing after his head's cut off.
Yeah, you know, the Michael Jackson looking demon, Tanner. He's the main bad guy.
Mugen? The main antagonist.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're right.
Yeah.
He takes the form of a woman the second time we see him, but yeah, that first time he looks like Michael Jackson.
Were you guys aware that there is a Michael Jackson yokai?
Yes. In fact.
No.
Yeah.
Like from Yokai Watch?
A yokai is just like their sort of, they're spooky specters,
Do I
Tanner.
want to look this up?
Did they just think that the real Michael Jackson was a yokai?
Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Or else did he turn white?
Okay.
But yeah, anyway.
Train crashes, demon dissolves.
Yeah.
And then Upper 3 just kind of shows up?
He died?
Yeah.
He just
Yes.
He just
that was one I was not all expecting.
just walks up. I figured it was gonna be one of the Upper 6, but I wasn't thinking like such a high up one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
so
no, we got real strong boy immediately.
the people making the movie are like, Rengoku hasn't done enough in this movie. I know.
I know what he can do.
I know what he can do. Yeah, so let's see. Upper 3, he's like a martial artist. He's like Lee Sin from League of Legends with tattoos. Cause he's a monk or something. That's what I got from him. He's like a Shaolin monk sort of deal. He does martial arts.
Yeah, Jackson, since you read the manga, do you really know much about this guy?
Kind of. They don't really delve super far into his backstory until way later. He's not a super big character for a while. But yeah, he's just some super big, like, fight-hungry demon that's been around for hundreds of years. So he's, like, honed his craft, I guess, is the best way of describing it, for quite a while.
Right.
Gotcha.
He's pretty cool. He's also kind of a fucking dick, even among the demons.
Yeah. We were able to see that quite well.
Pretty apparent.
Yeah, first thing he does is he goes immediately for the injured Tanjiro.
Yes.
Which I found
not gonna
pretty funny.
kind of a dick move.
Kind of
a dick move right there.
Yeah. So among like the upper demons, I'm assuming all of them are Japanese, but except for, is there like one demon who's like not from Japan? He's like a fun, quirky foreign one.
No, unfortunately, all of them are, I guess, technically Japanese. One of them like is a fucking ghost in a pot, so maybe that one is questionable because he doesn't even look like a human. And then one of them is like literally just a generic samurai dude, which is kind of funny.
Huh.
Gotcha.
But yeah, most of them are just straight up Japanese.
Okay.
So yeah, he fucking fights Rengoku then.
Yeah.
He fucking fights him. They man, it's so much action, so many.
It was great.
They do
They're
battle.
jumping around. Okay,
Yeah, such a brutal fight.
Have we all seen the My Hero Academia movies, specifically the second one?
I haven't seen any of the movies.
You've
Well,
seen
I've
it,
seen
Nico.
him, Tanner. Yeah.
How would you compare the Rengoku versus Upper 3 fight to like the Deku Bakugo versus 7? Was that his name?
Yeah, his name was like a number or some shit.
I think his name was 7 or 9. His name was 9.
It was. Fuck. This was something I was actually thinking about earlier. I was like, man, these fights were both, like, really good. I was trying to figure out, like, well, what is the best fight I've ever seen in an anime before, you know? And, like, those two are definitely up there, and it's difficult for me to make really heads or tails of which one I think is better at all.
So some stylistic differences that I really take, like, I notice is, in the one in the Demon Slayer movie, Rengoku versus Upper 3, they don't do anything, like, crazy that, like, they don't make the art go sort of abstract to convey the feeling of what the action is. It's always the two characters fighting, whereas in the My Hero Academia movie, like, at a certain point, the screen is literally just colors and shapes, but it's like conveying, like, the feeling of what the action is. Yeah. So this movie is more grounded in that way.
Yeah, it's not as, like, on a grandiose scale as the My Hero one was.
I think I probably prefer the My Hero one just because, like, at that point, I had watched that show for 3 seasons, I believe.
Yeah, so something like that.
And so I had a much stronger connection to those characters than these ones. But I think on, like a technical choreography level, this one's probably a superior fight.
Yeah, it was really cool. When the bad dude, the lower third, upper third, whatever the fuck he's called.
Upper 3.
Yeah, when he showed up, I was like, well, fuck, I don't really know what's gonna happen at this point, because I was trying to, like, metagame this shit, like, okay, well, if he's here, like, the Tanjiro's obviously, like, way too incapacitated to fight. This isn't really the kind of series that will do, like, an ass pull, big power-up sort of thing, so, like, how are they even gonna beat this guy? Like, if he beats Rengoku, he's just gonna kill them. So Rengoku can't really lose, right? Unless they, like, kill each other. But
at first I assumed, I was like, oh, this is they're, like, showing off Rengoku, and then in season 2 it'll be like, oh, Rengoku is now teaching them, and now you know he's cool now. And then at a certain point, when he had gotten sufficiently messed up, I was like, okay, he's gonna pull something out of his ass and they're gonna kill each other. and then it wasn't until the very end where I was like, oh, he's just gonna kill him and leave.
Yeah,
However... Sorry,
no, it's fine. You have a continuing thought, go ahead.
Okay, however, Rengoku does not go down without a fight, though. Yeah. Like... Even as the demon puts his arm through Rengoku's chest, Rengoku is able to do that breathing technique that he was telling Tanjiro about previously, and just tighten his muscles so much that the demon can't pull his arm out of him.
Being a man of larger size, that is literally something I've thought about, where it's like, I wonder if someone were to punch me in the gut, I could flex my muscles enough to stick their hand in my stomach. And then they did that in this movie.
It was so cool.
Yeah, so again, based on my limited knowledge of this anime in general, and obviously I don't have the fights to compare this one to others, I think, and unfortunately the only other fight I could compare it to is the one in Super Broly with Goku and Vegeta and Broly. Anyway, I agree with Nico, where it's like, for me, whenever I watch anime, I do expect that, like somebody gets a hyper power up from somewhere. But then in my mind, after watching this movie, and this was towards the end, I was like, this doesn't seem like the movie that would do that. So either, like, he's actually been holding back somewhat this whole time, he's gonna kill this demon, or this demon's gonna kill him, and then, like, I'll only have known this character for, like, an hour and a half.
Right.
So, like, then they start going at it. I'm like, okay, this seems like a pretty good fight. I think Rengoku has a good chance of winning. So I was like, okay, this is the one episode or one time when, you know, a super powerful enemy shows up out of nowhere and they actually beat it, because that's not usually how it happens. And then things start looking bad. And I told them when we were leaving the movie theater, I was like, this is one of the only fights where I had jumped back and forth between not knowing who was going to win, because they just upset the balance too many times in the tempo. And so yeah, it got to the point where I just, like, at the least I wanted them to kill each other, because I knew that Rengoku was probably going to die. So I was like on the same level as you, Tanner, where it was like, I want them to at least kill each other, that way, you know, like, it has a somewhat decent ending. And then when I saw that the demon was just getting away, I was like, well, that's garbage.
Yeah.
And then Tanjiro did a thing,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, maybe he'll like have some hidden power, blow away the forest, and the sun will kill the demon. And no, he just threw his sword and it impaled the demon, and he lost his sword, and the demon got away, and Rengoku died. And I was like, well, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, I was pretty upset at the demon just kind of getting away too.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's kind of lame. At least like, I don't know, at least like give him a permanent scar or something.
Yeah.
Like maybe like Rengoku like takes his arm off at the last second, and then the sun comes out and like burns the stub, and so he can't regrow that arm or something.
Yeah. It was unfortunate, but.
Yeah, as that sword like pierced right through the demon, there was an audible "oh" from Dylan though.
Yeah, like I thought he finished it right there. I was like, that's the end of the fight. He's gonna slash him back up, and I swear I saw him cut off his head, and I was like, yes, freaking pulled through last second. And then there was too much dust, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. When he first threw it, I was like, oh, is it gonna like pin him to a tree and then the sun finishes him or something? But nah.
No. Not so lucky.
No.
Nah.
Tanjiro needs a new sword again.
Yeah, that's what I thought immediately after. I'm like, oh well, he lost his sword again.
Oh, again? Well, alright then.
Yeah, this is a consistent happenstance.
Is this gonna happen a lot more, Jackson?
No, actually. Literally the very
okay.
arc after this one, they address it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Like,
Perfect,
dude,
perfect.
you gotta stop with losing the swords. Do you know how hard it is?
It's fucking hilarious because they literally go out of their way to say that it's not his fault, it's the person making the swords dog shit at their job.
Throw the sword maker under the bus.
Yeah.
Damn.
Crash the
Nice.
poor dude.
What did you think of the final fight, Jackson?
I thought it was really good. I think the way they adapted it is just excellent, obviously coming from the manga. It's pretty much everything in the series is overall pretty one-to-one with how they do things in the manga, which I really appreciated. It's literally just...
Is it...
Yes.
Is it like is it one-to-one in the way that like the first season or two of Attack on Titan is, where like you could literally pause the screen at certain points?
Yeah, that's literally
like
really similar. You could literally open up the manga and like follow along with it, and it's pretty much just like you could almost like count the manga as like keyframes to it, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
The fight was really well done, though. I think the pacing was good. Not super big, or I'm not like I don't really have like a problem with the whole big bad guy just like gets away scot-free pretty much at the end of it, but I actually kind of liked it for the fact that it's realistic in a sense that like that's just what fucking happens. These like I think you're set up without like prior knowledge of like how strong the Hashira really are. So a lot of the time people come in just assuming they're like these like the be-all end-all of like the Demon Slayers. But you're not really told much about the fact that these upper demons have literally existed for hundreds of years because nobody can fucking kill them. And they've also killed like tens of Hashiras. Like, this is not an uncommon thing to have happen. Just a Hashira just getting gibbed all of a sudden.
Yeah. The only other Hashira we've seen like fight in the series was the insect girl.
I mean, technically we've seen
Water Boy
too.
Oh right.
Except I don't know if count him as fighting. He literally just like one-shotted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about him because he's such a basic bitch next to all the other Hashira.
Yeah. He was kind of lame, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. The insect girl is the main one I remember, but like she doesn't. You look at her and you're like, oh yeah, I'm sure she's real skilled or whatever, but she doesn't seem like, you know, she's not shooting fire tigers out of her hands or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just for context too, most people in the community say that Rengoku is about like middle of the road in terms of strength of all the other Hashiras.
Damn.
Just for context. So yeah, pretty much.
Isn't like the sort of monk-looking dude? Isn't he like the strongest one?
He's definitely on the more powerful scale of it. Who exactly is the strongest one is pretty hard to say. They're all pretty close.
I looked at when they had like the one episode where you see all the Hashira, I was like, that guy's probably the strongest.
He's the most intimidating.
I think for me the demon just killing him and then getting away was disappointing just because like the way it's set up where he just randomly shows up, like there's no fanfare, there's no lead up to it, he's just kind of there, and then he kills them and he just gets away. Like it's like a flat open, a ton of hype, and then a flat ending.
Yeah, that's super reasonable to think that way. Because I think him just coming in general is really unexpected for the most part. Like, you think the fucking movie's pretty much over, and all of a sudden, the actual big bad of it just suddenly comes up, and they don't really like give an explanation as to why he's there until literally, I guess in season 2 they're gonna do it when he goes and meets up with Mugen, whatever the fuck his name is, later down the line.
Yeah, Mugen.
Yeah, I was totally not. I expected right after the train crash and everything, and everybody had time to recover. I fully expected the movie to end, and then that guy showing up was kind of like a disorienting factor for sure.
Right. I'm still unclear on if, like, Tanjiro's water effects and the fire effects are, like, real. Like, is water actually appearing in the world, or is it, like, a style thing?
It's kind of both. So, they're not, like, actually, like, fully on fire when they use these abilities, but the fire kind of... It's kind of strange. Like, so later down the line, there's like a couple of moments where they use their fire ability on a demon and they don't like physically burn them, but like the fire basically like stops them from healing or whatever. It's like metaphorically there, like it affects them like a fucking spiritual level. It's kind of stupid, to be honest.
Right.
Kind of fucking stupid.
It's kind of
it's mostly just artsy though. Like it's just supposed to represent their sword styles rather than actually like physically affecting them. But there are in fact some like physical repercussions for them using these abilities.
Sometimes it seems to cross the line between stylistic and then like actually occurring. Like when he's fighting the arrow demon and he does the whirlpool to redirect the arrows, that very much seems like, okay, so it seems like the water's actually there and actually affecting the arrows. But one other thing I wanted to bring up that I randomly just thought of was, so the film opens with like the Grandmaster walking through a graveyard. Dude,
yes.
How insane was the art for that scene?
Insane.
It was great. It was amazing.
I would
argue that.
I was looking at that, I'm like, this is some of the best like painting I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Overall, too, some of the stills after the train got taken down too are gorgeous as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would agree with that as well.
So there's like a technique they use in live action films where they'll make a painting of like they do it a lot in like sci-fi movies where you can't get an actual picture of like an alien planet, but they'll make a painting of it and then they'll just have the actors and whatever like edited in front of it. Is that kind of the same thing they're doing here? Well, they'll make a crazy intricate painting and then they'll have the characters animated over it.
Yeah, for the most part that is. I mean, there are moments where they'll have to use like different camera angles, obviously, to just save on time. But most of the time, yeah, they're just using like a pre-baked one and just like tossing characters onto it. Cause that's a fucking shit ton.
In the end fight, did they CG the characters at any point, or was it hand animated the whole time?
Pretty sure it was hand animated the entire time. Except it's really hard.
That was a pretty long fight too, wasn't it?
It's kind of hard to tell though, because if you guys haven't seen any other Ufotable works, they're really, really good at 3D rotoscoping. So they definitely use 3D in some moments where they were like rotating the camera super quickly, but it's mostly just for the environment. I don't think the characters ever actually turned into 3D. I think they're always hand animated.
The train was CG at certain points.
Yeah.
CG, CG is getting really good now in a lot of anime. Like Attack on Titan this season, the Titans are almost exclusively CG, but they still, most of the time you can barely tell. Like, they managed to get the art style, the 2D art style, to translate into the CG Titans so that you don't even notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they looked really good. A lot of people were complaining about it on Twitter or whatever, and I was like, I think they look fine.
Yeah.
You people don't
Like,
really
it's still at the point where you
about.
can tell, but it's not like taking you out of it. There was one other. Oh, it was Castlevania I was watching recently. They do a couple of CG things here and there. I'm like, that looks pretty dang good.
Yeah, I'm trying.
But yeah.
Technology is actually getting really good nowadays, just as companies actually start to use it properly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the end of the movie. He died. What the fuck?
Yeah, I will note that I did cry actually twice during this film. And when I say cry, it's basically just like a couple tears streaming down my cheeks, you know. And it was when he was all sad and everyone was crying because he was dying right there. And I felt like I was good. I was like, okay, this is like really sad and emotional, but I think I'm okay. And then his mom shows up, and it's like, oh no, she's proud of him.
No, she's proud of him.
Yes.
My weakness.
Bro.
Well, and then there was the part where you were confused, like, and I was confused too, just because I hadn't watched it, but you were confused as to why there was a crying crow at the end.
Yeah, so the way I initially interpreted that was like, oh, okay, I think they're laying on a little thick here. They're saying like, oh, even the wildlife is sad about this. What's happening here? Then I remembered that, oh yeah, they do have like crows that each of the Demon Slayers have, so that's like probably his crow. Okay, never mind. Now it makes sense why it's crying.
They got talking crows.
And I mean, I'm gonna be completely on. Well, crows, for whatever reason, in real life, are actually really good at talking. Like their vocal cords are better than parrots, from what I've heard. But
Well, these crows literally talk. Like they speak language.
amazing.
Yeah.
But
They never
They just
explain it
screech at
either.
you.
Do they? I don't
No,
think they
they-
do.
they
just
don't.
they just
No.
can talk, and no one's like weirded out by it either.
I
you
mean,
got demons in the
Tanjiro was
world.
surprised at the start, but they get used to it pretty quick, just because everybody else is so nonchalant
Yeah.
about it, I guess.
Yeah, our crows talk. What?
But,
Like, demons are real. You gonna freak out about this? Come on.
was anybody else emotionally confused at the very end, where everybody's like crying, but then Inosuke freaks out and just like knocks out Zenitsu, and then like drags Tanjiro away and like beating him while he cries? So I didn't know if I should laugh or cry at the end. Like I was just
right.
really confused at that point.
That's just how Inosuke processes his emotions, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
He whatever things like hurt him emotionally, he has to fight them. But in this instant, what he wants to fight is dead already, so he can't do that.
Well,
Yeah,
Beat the shit out of Goku's dead body.
there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
A touching ending to a touching anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really, but I wonder how long until season 2 comes out. Probably a while.
3 years.
3 years? What? Is
No,
that
That
true?
is a farce.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, wasn't the gap between like season 1 and season 2 of Attack on Titan like 4
It
years?
was a really long time.
It was
Yeah.
something. And then I think between season 1 and 2 of One Punch Man was pretty long.
It was
Or 2 and 3, something like that.
it was
Yeah,
a
it was one
while.
too.
I mean, just in general, I know that.
And dude,
Yeah.
don't even get me started on how long it was in between season 4 and season 5 of JoJo's.
Oh.
We don't even know if it exists yet. I can't remember if they confirmed it's like coming or not. I think I heard that, but I don't know how to trust.
Yeah,
if I can
looks
trust
like
those
from what I
people.
found, allegedly it will be coming out sometime this year.
Huh.
Yeah, we'll see though.
I don't
know.
believe that for a second.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall 10 out of 10. Go watch Demon Slayer,
Yeah.
the movie, the
Hell
train.
yeah.
I'll give it. Yeah, I'd say an 8. I feel like an 8.
An 8 is much higher than I expected you to give it. Just from your initial...
Well,
Yeah, it sounded like you hated it, Tanner.
I said good,
you were
not
vehemently
great.
against
I think
this movie.
9 is up is where great is.
I mean, that's fair. That's literally
where-
like
that's where
Mal rating
greatness awaits.
descriptors. Like 9 is great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, very good.
Yeah, I will.
Very good. Okay.
I will
Yeah.
agree with Jackson.
I would like to point out, I tried to find that like Japanese Michael Jackson demon or whatever, but all that gets pulled up when I type that out is Demon Slayer and people comparing the bad guy to Michael Jackson.
Right. It's very
Maybe
good.
he is the yokai Michael
Yeah.
Jackson.
Maybe he is.
Okay. I don't know where we're at. We probably need to talk for
We literally just
probably
hit
a
an
couple
hour.
more minutes just to be safe. So, has anyone seen season 4 of Castlevania.
I haven't even seen season 1 of Castlevania.
God,
You are the only one.
I don't watch a lot of anime. I want to though at some point.
Yeah,
it's definitely on my list.
Jackson is a big manga reader.
Huge in the manga.
Nico, let me run this by you. For Castlevania, does it sometimes like the animation feel weird and stunted?
Yeah, it 100% does sometimes. But usually I'm okay with it.
I get confused because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, the animation's so good." I'm like, sometimes it's like clearly below 24 frames per second, or like even like sometimes it seems like it's like not even an even number of frames. You know, like it's I don't even know how to describe it.